Hi guys, it's Chris with City Girl Homestead, and time for another What Grandma Cooked. So today I am going to cheat just a little bit, and I'll tell you the story why. So I am making beef stroganoff, and I'm sure all of your grandmas made it. I don't know if that's what they called it, but I'm sure most of them made it. I don't think she called it beef stroganoff. I think she called it something else. And it wasn't something that she made very often either. I got a bad part in that onion we'll get rid of right there. I tell you, these onions and all that good stuff. Ugh. My big ones I've had much better luck with. Probably help I turn that on. I do have some egg noodles in the other pan that are cooking. I never seen her make it with anything other than egg noodles. So I'm going to get these onions chopped up. My son just added some RAM to my computer today, so maybe it'll make it last. I don't have to buy another one anytime soon. Because it's been slowing down quite a bit. I've had the same computer for like 8 years, but it's just getting to where it's getting really slow. Like, I can't save any of my videos right now. So, like, if somebody goes, "Can you pull that video up?" No, you have to go online and look for it. Because I can't do that as of right now. But that's alright. We're going to get that onion added to it. And of course, let me get this chopped up just a little bit. See what I said about, like, so much of this stuff was actually, you know, hamburger, potatoes, stuff like that. You know, my grandma didn't make steak and stuff. There just wasn't money for that. The hamburger was very cheap back then, so she could make all kinds of hamburger stuff. And noodles, and sometimes my mom would make her own noodles. When she made, only when she made this one thing, I don't remember what it was, but she'd make her own homemade noodles then. I'm hoping that that pan's going to be big enough for everything. But, it seems as though you guys are getting good memories, too, from your grandparents, and that's really good. And, you know, it's not just from our grandparents. Someone brought up last night about their aunts and uncles and cousins and all that. And, you know, hopefully in this new year, we can do just that. And bring up a lot of good memories that we have throughout the years. And the people that helped us create those great memories. My grandparents were awesome. But I had a wonderful uncle. And that was Bob that I told you about. All my uncles were great guys. But, I actually have one piece of Bob's furniture left. Well, 2 pieces. I have a small, little, tiny hope chest. And I have a big one that we use for our coffee table. I used to have a bedroom outfit. But he made it in 1950-something. And it just, with moving and everything else, it finally gave out. But he made a bedroom outfit for me and my sister one time. I swear, you guys, it took 5 grown men to move that around. It was so solid. It was a bunk bed and 2 dressers. And, matter of fact, when our house burnt, it survived. When our house burnt, actually, we had to move to my grandparents' house. And I slept on the couch and my sister in a lawn chair. We'd take turns, and we lived there for a bit until my dad bought us a trailer. It took years for them to finalize that, so yeah. Then my parents owned rental houses, and there was 2 that were available, this one and another one, and us girls picked this one because we had more friends over here. So, and I'm glad we did. This is far better neighborhood than the other one. Far better. Not rich-wise, but not so many drugs and stuff. How's that? So we definitely picked the right neighborhood. My grandma, she always welcomed us in, no matter what. You know what I mean? It didn't matter what happened. She would always welcome us in. So I'm going to let that hamburger cook just a little bit, and then we'll be right back. Alright, so now, as I told you, my grandma would never use fresh mushrooms because she didn't have them accessible. So I'm going to use a can of my home canned mushrooms. And I'm going to add some salt and pepper to that. My noodles are getting close to being done. I'm going to use just a little bit of garlic powder. I grew up on it. My kids are like, my mom can't cook. And the reason that they would say that is because I cooked with salt and pepper. I have more spices now than I've ever had. But what I learned even in the restaurant was basically salt and pepper. You didn't add a lot of stuff because a lot of stuff you can't add when you're at just a regular restaurant, you know, because of allergies and stuff like that. So, yeah. I was trying to think of any fancy stories with my grandma today, and my dad, actually, he took me to drive. We had a great big Dodge something. It was huge, big boat. And he had taught me how to drive on the back road. I must have only been about 6 or 7. I could barely touch the pedals. And so my grandparents and my parents would let me drive once in a while. And I remember that one day my grandma said, "Can you take me to Carson City?" And I go, "Take you?" I must have been probably, I don't know, 11 or 12, something like that. And so I drove all the way from Vestaburg to Carson City. Well, every time I drive, if I seen a cop, I'd pull off on a street. Because, you know, I didn't look 16. So, she said to me one day, I pulled off the side street. And she goes, "Christy, why do you do that?" And I'm like, "Because I don't have a license." She goes, "But you're drawing more attention to yourself." And I never thought of it that way, you know what I mean? And, but, like, I remember, you know, way before I had my license, every time us kids would want to go swimming, and, you know, we didn't have our bikes or something, she'd let me, you know, take her car, and I'd take all the neighborhood kids, we'd go down swimming. That's not stuff you do today. Well, maybe they still do in small towns, but generally, you don't let your kids just go off and do stuff like that. But they trusted us back then, you know what I mean? And it seemed like it was a safer place, and Vestaburg's really small. And, like, I don't know if you've seen the Gen X videos, but I am a Gen X. And, you know, we'd eat breakfast, and then we'd come back for lunch, and then we'd come back for dinner, and then we'd play out in the front yard. I mean, if it was a rain day, and kids nowadays, it's hard to get them outside, but, you know, if it was a rain day, we were bored out of our skulls. Because we were so used to being out playing our fort. We'd be, you know, make-believe veterinarians, and we'd go scoop up all the stray cats and stuff. And, you know, we just thought that that was, the world came to an end because we were outside all the time. All the time. And I do believe it when the Gen Xers goes, "You weren't allowed to come in." I don't know if it was that, but, you know, yeah. And my grandma, because she was stay at home, I was probably the only young girl like that was addicted to the soap operas. My grandma watched Young and the Restless. Bold and the Beautiful wasn't out yet, but hers was is Young and the Restless. Snapper and all those people. I'd watch that with her when I'd go up there. And even when I moved back up there, when I got a little bit older, I'd go over and watch it with her. And her dog, actually, my grandpa had gotten a poodle, and she named the poodle Snapper after the guy on Young and the Restless. Those look like they're just about done. Let me get them drained and I'll be right back. Alright, so I've got my noodles rinsed. Now I'm going to add my hamburger stuff to it. Hopefully it all fits in there. And then we're going to add a can of cream of mushroom soup. There goes that soup again. I'm like, I didn't get that thing out, so it better come out. And we're going to add some milk to it. Now I'm going to tell you the truth about something. I'm going to add more salt and pepper. But when I was a kid, my grandma never added sour cream to this. Do you know, it wasn't until I was probably, honestly, in my late 20s, well, no, I'd say in my 20s, before I actually tasted what sour cream was like. Because coming up, that was, I guess, a luxury. They didn't have it. I don't know. And we just did not have any sour cream. So when people would ask me about it, I'd be like, sour cream is gross. And they're like, have you ever tried it? And I'm like, no, but it's just gross. And it wasn't until I had a taco from Taco Bell that had the deluxe. And to this day, if I eat tacos from Taco Bell, they're the deluxe. And I found out that I really do like sour cream. But they never ever had sour cream on anything that we made. And my mom used to make tacos and burritos and all that stuff, but we never ever had sour cream. And actually the only reason that I started adding sour cream to this is because you guys. You guys were like, sour cream should be added to that. And I'm like, what? I'd never made it with sour cream. And you know what's really funny is I don't think Tom's mom did either. And so now that we've tasted what it's like with sour cream, we both really like it. So now we add the sour cream. How's that for a story? So we're going to get that sour cream added in it. So that's a cheat that Grandma did not do. But I truthfully like how creamy it makes the beef stroganoff. And I think it adds another beautiful taste to it by adding the sour cream. Now, I'm not going to put this back on the stove to heat it up until Tom gets just a few minutes away, because I don't want the noodles to get overcooked and get it nasty and whatever. So I'll always do that, like re-warm it up. With the casseroles, it's worked great this week. I just put it in the oven, or, you know, turn off the oven and let it sit there, and then it's nice and hot when he gets home. So that works great. So I want to let you look at this. Isn't that beautiful? And I'm going to find some kind of frozen vegetable that I've used part of a bag or something, and we'll use that for the side dish. So this next couple of weeks, I want you guys to dig in deep. And I want you to think about all those people, maybe not necessarily grandma, because some of you didn't have grandparents, but all those people that made you the beautiful person you are today. And let those memories flow and see what made you you. Because I think our grandparents and our parents and our uncles and aunts and whatever, they did truly mold a lot of what we do today. And maybe some of it's not good, but maybe some of it's wonderful. So I'm going to wait till he gets almost home, and then I'm going to heat that back up, and then there won't be leftovers from this today either. Guaranteed one of his favorites. So he's always like, I go, what do you want? And he goes, beef stroganoff. What do you want? Beef stroganoff. What do you want? Beef stroganoff. It's a favorite of his. And actually tonight, for my drink, I ordered a 2-liter of Fresca. I have not had Fresca since I was a kid. But that's what my grandma used to drink. And so I'm going to have that with supper tonight. And that's something that she could drink because she was diabetic and she absolutely loved it. And I liked it back then too. But now, with that aftertaste, I really kind of have to have it over ice. So I'm going to have Fresca tonight. So I'll be back when Tom gets home. Well, hi, Tom. How are you?
I'm just dandy. How are you doing?
Good. Look at that. Beef stroganoff.
Mm-hmm. One of my more favorite dishes.
Did your parents use sour cream in your house growing up?
What's up?
Did your parents use sour cream in your house growing up?
Mm-hmm.
See, my grandma didn't, and neither did my mom.
Really?
Nope. So I cheated on this recipe and put sour cream in it.
Cream of mushroom soup in it.
I used cream of mushroom soup, but everybody said add sour cream, so that's what we started doing.
Yeah.
Is it one of your favorite things?
One of my favorite meals, yeah.
I tell people, I go, what do you want? And you go, beef stroganoff, beef stroganoff, beef stroganoff.
You eat this till cows come home.
I know you could. What do you think, Jack?
That's very good.
Alrighty, we're going to let those boys eat. You guys have a blessed night. Be a blessing, and goodbye, Tom.
What's wrong?
Bye, Jack.
Bye.
Have a great night, guys.